beautiful freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Freakquels. I'm EJ Leeson, and with me always, my dude, Mr. Rory Calarasi. What's up, boo?
I'm so pumped to be here to talk about this very popular entry into the Halloween franchise. I'm fairly certain it's like the original Halloween got bumped down recently in favor of this film, so... Yeah. All good stuff.
I would say that's true. And with us today, the podkeeper himself, the one, the only, Mr. Young Vince. How are you?
Mr. Young Vince. I like that. Okay, good. All right.
America
doing good.
demanded you back.
I'm ecstatic right now. Ecstatic? Ecstatic? Ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
You're staticky.
I'm staticky right now. No, I'm happy we are where we are. We got an awesome guest. We sound good. He sounds good. I'm excited. Yeah,
you
I'm ready to
did
do
excellent work.
I'm stressed, man. I'm sweating. You see the sweat?
Oh yeah.
Like you got
Rory
everything.
Said, you look like you were in a courtroom testifying.
And like you know that you're lying.
Yeah.
It's that kind of sweat.
Yeah.
Like Kato Kalin, just applying chapstick over and over. Yeah. Like, okay, go ahead.
Just keep going. Keep going. It's all right. And today we have a very special guest, no stranger to the show, film critic and host of the Cinematic Reel, Mr. David Gonzalez. How are you, sir?
Hey, thank you for having me again. I'm glad that I made a good impression on society, that you had me back for another classic. I just want to put all the credit to Rory because this was his idea, not mine.
You definitely made an impression. I'll put it.
Oh, you said like Halloween 5 is your favorite?
Yeah, he's a big fan.
Is that true? Halloween 5?
Mine? Absolutely not.
I like the utter shock on your face. Like, oh God, no.
No, I like the fact that he didn't know that we were talking to him. He was like, "There's no way that they think that my favorite movie is Halloween 5."
I know we're gonna get into when we saw the movie, but I had the worst first experience watching this movie. So I can't wait to talk about the nonsensical bullshit that is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers.
Yeah, it is a classic for sure. First off, before we get into new movies that we've seen, I have to ask you, you recently got to do the Criterion Closet, like the mobile...
Shot.
Yeah, take a shot, everybody. But how was that? Was that amazing?
It was like... I said at the beginning of my video, like, is this what heaven feels like? I think it was. I got there at 7 a.m., waited 4 hours, worth every second I was in there.
Yeah.
Got in there, knew exactly where my movies were that I wanted to talk about. So the girl that was shooting the video was impressed that I knew the spine numbers of every single movie I wanted. So being able to just do that is... my God, it's probably like one of the best 3 minutes of my life.
Dude, you crushed it too. Like,
and you crushed it, yeah.
Your video's like so well paced and everything.
I like that you went all in on Lynch, basically, yeah.
Yes, I have and in full disclosure, Rory's gonna get his chance this week because we are doing it together. I'm joining him to do it again, and I have also a director that I'm gonna highlight too in my video, but yeah, it's amazing. Like, any fan of Criterion needs to do this, so I'm glad they're gonna be touring. I don't know if they're gonna be touring a lot of states, but I know after Brooklyn this weekend they're going to be going to LA. So
oh my God,
it's I highly recommend if it comes to your town. It's worth the wait. You meet a lot of good people. You get to talk movies for a few hours, and then you get to talk movies on camera, and then buy some movies.
Yeah.
Now, talking movies, do you think that's something that we would enjoy?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just an assumption. Just an assumption.
Hey, Dave, real quick, what is it like? Why should we value your opinion? What is it that you do, and explain to your audience or our audience, like what it is that your job is and how cool it is and why you enjoy life so much more than we do.
So I won't reveal my day job because that is not as entertaining as my other job, which is I am a film critic. I have my own website, thecinimaticreel.com. I've been writing now for 8 years. I am a member of the New York Film Critics Online, the Latino Entertainment Journalists Association, the Hollywood Creative Alliance, and also a critic on Rotten Tomatoes. It is I get to watch movies early and just tell everyone how awesome and terrible they are. And because Rory and I talk on a consistent basis, he gets to hear reactions before anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've talked about this movie yet on the podcast, Rory, but I got to tell him about The Substance like 3 months before it came out. And
Yeah.
I hyped that movie up so much for him that I don't think I disappointed you, right?
No, that was like one of my, I would say probably one of the top best theater experiences I've had in a while. I liked that we had a very small amount of people in our theater, and then periodically you would just hear somebody go,
yeah.
But no, man, you definitely didn't overhype it. That's I keep going back and forth with it. That might be my favorite movie of the year. Like it keeps going back between that and like Dune Part 2.
Dune is number 4 for me right now. That's how you haven't seen what's coming though, because you haven't seen The Brutalist and you haven't seen Honora. And
need to change
once you see especially The Brutalist, I think that's gonna change your world.
Did you see Conclave? Is that worth it?
I see that tomorrow, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow I have a triple feature. I am doing
all 3 Twilights.
I wish, but unfortunately, it's not on my calendar this week.
Squeeze that in.
But if you guys ever do it on here, just count me in.
Twilight?
Hell yeah.
Dave, 100%.
Dave, trust me. Don't do this to yourself. Don't commit to something so dumb.
New moon?
I remember watching Twilight for the first time like in 2015, and I hated myself for a very long time. It was a terrible experience.
Because you enjoyed it so much?
Tomorrow I'm watching The Order, which is a movie directed by Justin Kurzel. He's known for directing Macbeth, unfortunately Assassin's Creed, but he did direct Nitram in 2021, which I highly recommend. But this movie is essentially like an 80s Heat.
Oh, cool.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then I'm watching Conclave, which I am so excited for.
Yeah, me too.
Everyone that I know that has seen it, because I haven't been able to get to a press screening until tomorrow, basically has labeled it like it's airport junk that you're just gonna like love. And I'm finally seeing The Wild Robot, which you saw.
Roy. Yeah, so, man, you're gonna love it.
Yeah. It's
my 10-year anniversary with my wife tomorrow, and I'm killing the day watching movies before we go out because I am taking her out. I'm going to be a good husband. But
happy anniversary, early anniversary.
Thank you.
Although when people listen to this episode, the anniversary will have passed.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, that is true.
Happy belated anniversary.
Movies come first, but that'll be our little secret. We're all friends.
I'm texting Jen right now. Hold on one second.
Oh no.
So what are of course what are some new movies you did get to see that you're really hyped for a lot of people to see?
I just finished New York Film Festival, so there's a lot there. So I won't try to go through all of it, but some of the highlights was Honora, which is
I'm excited. Yeah,
Sean Baker's latest film, starring Mikey Madison, who's in the Scream films, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She is incredible. I think she may win the Oscar. The movie is essentially blending Pretty Woman and After Hours.
Cool!
Finally,
I remember watching it, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like so touched by everything. So at the half of the movie, and I'm just like, all right, this is like really like an awesome character study. And then
his movies are great. Like I actually really like his movies a lot.
I do too, and I think he does a good job of highlighting I always say like the voice of the voiceless. Like he does a good job with them.
That's a good way to put it.
And I think Honora really does a good job. And I think the movie's really funny. It's one of the funniest movies I've seen this year, but it leaves you with a gut punch. It's one of the most emotionally satisfying but heartbreaking moments of the year. And it kind of just like I had wondered why a lot of people think this could win Best Picture. When the last 30 seconds of the movie hit, I'm like, oh, I get it. I absolutely get it.
I just got lightheaded thinking about that movie. Just kind of like,
well, okay. Speaking of lightheaded, I also saw The Brutalist, which is it's a goddamn masterpiece. That movie is a 3.5 hour shot on VistaVision on 35 millimeter story about an immigrant who a Holocaust survivor who immigrates to America, and he's an architect. And he's just trying to establish himself and live through the American dream. But if you've seen any of Brady Corbett's films, things things are done, and I think it gives you vibes. And I hate bringing this movie, and I'm not comparing it because it's not as good as The Godfather, but a lot of filmmaking techniques from Godfather Part 2 are in this movie, and that's my favorite film of all time. So it's like, oh wow, like you really know what you're doing here. And the fact that the movie only costs like $9 million is insane.
Wow.
The other
$9 million?
$9 million.
Jesus.
Wow.
Dave, does it offend you that I haven't seen Godfather 1 or Godfather 2?
No, because I'd rather
But I have
someone
seen
not
Godfather
watch it.
3.
I mean, listen. If you're starting off with 3, just know it just gets better from there.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
all right,
good.
I'll take that.
All right.
Another movie. I'll highlight 3 more real quick. So they
We
showed
only have time for 2.
Okay, perfect. I'll leave it at 2. They showed a 4K restoration of Hellraiser, and it's the first time I've ever seen it in theaters. Fucking incredible. Yeah. I was shocked when it was, because usually New York Film Festivals doesn't give press access to restorations. They just make you pay for it. But it was on my press list, and I was like, holy fuck,
yeah?
I get to see Hellraiser. Oh my god, what? It was literally right after The Brutalist. So it was like, what?
Yeah. That's a great day.
So is it
I was like, oh my god,
remastering?
this movie,
Yeah.
This is incredible. But yeah, it was a beautiful transfer. I can't wait to buy the Arrow 4K transfer, because I believe that's going to be on the disc. I love that movie. That movie's
Hellraiser?
so gnarly.
Oh yeah,
it's so gnarly. Absolutely love it. And then the last one I'll highlight is actually I'm going to break code and highlight
do both. You're fine.
Do both.
Dave, don't listen to me.
So
Yeah, don't listen to
Ethos,
Vince.
which is
5 more for all we care.
the underground gem of maybe the year. It doesn't come out till next spring, but it is a movie that takes place in real time. It's 87 minutes, and it is basically The Sandlot meets The Irishman. It's about these.
That's a beautiful pairing.
You're killing me, Irishman.
It's essentially like these guys, these old men that have been playing baseball on this field for years, and it's their last game before they tear down the field. So basically, the whole movie is in real time. So they play 9 innings of baseball, and
Oh,
it's
that's
just
awesome.
It's not as boring as it sounds. There's a lot that goes on. Even like they have to figure out how to play at night. It gets to that point, but through the conversations, you find out that one of the players is responsible for the field being demolished. So there's like some tension going on there. It's a very, very good movie. It's a first-time director too, so I'm very interested in his other work. I wouldn't say it's a slow burn, but you really got to be, you're going to pay attention to these people. It's just like a taste of this like small town America. And then the last one I'll highlight is Nickel Boys, and the reason I'm highlighting that is because the entire movie is in first person. 2 hours and 20 minutes in first person.
That's cool. That sounds
so
awesome.
basically, the movie is about these 2 boys that meet at a school where there's abuse going on. But the movie fast forwards to current day, and even in current day, the movie's in first person. So it's a very interesting. I'm not really a Terrence Malick fan. I think he's like one of the most pretentious filmmakers of all time. But this is kind
Agreed.
of a Malickish. I'm glad I'm not alone there. It's a Malickish film, but a much better done in my opinion.
When you have it in
good.
like the first person perspective from the abuse, like when he's younger, does that make it a little bit stronger, more visceral type of feeling?
While I really liked it, I think the movie does have a difficult time with keeping you engaged with the characters, because you kind of feel disconnected after a bit because everything is in first person. There is some interesting shots that you are able to see the character that's talking through mirrors. So the cinematography in the movie is pretty solid. So, and I'll shut up now because I've talked way too much.
You're good,
No,
man.
we like it. It's good.
It's good.
We don't have anything interesting to say on this show.
Young Vince, after Dave Gonzalez, you go ahead. Talk about movies.
I saw one movie on suggestion of Rory, other than the movie that we're reviewing today, and the movie is Halloween 4.
Oh.
So he made me watch 4 before I watched 5.
I didn't want that ending to get ruined, just in case, because it's such a fucking awesome ending.
So I'll save it for it, but man, what a shit show this movie is. So we'll leave it at that. 4 was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. My wife has worked her way through up until 2018. She started at 1. We watched 4 and 5 together. She tried to get me to watch 6 through 2018, and I'm not having it, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh. And then Rory, how about you?
Oh, I rewatched Cars, but go ahead.
Oh, love Cars. It's great. It's a good movie. One of my favorite Pixar ones.
They say Halloween 4 and Cars identical.
Yeah.
Identical
Very similar.
films.
Yeah. I didn't even watch it with
close.
my kids. I just watched it by myself. But go ahead.
So there's a guy having a Halloween party that's Tim Burton themed.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of Tim Burton watching. We actually saw Sleepy Hollow together, the re-release.
Yes,
we were
amazing.
there with a group of people.
So good.
Sleepy Hollow still rocks. The third act falls apart a little bit, but I still will not ding the movie for being awesome all the way up until the last 25 minutes. We saw Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D.
Yes. Awesome.
Which was neat. That movie still it's such an awesome movie because if you turn the volume down, you can still understand what's happening, and it almost plays like a silent film. It's so beautiful looking.
I love a movie like that. You know I do that.
Yeah. It's just completely visual. We watched Frankenweenie.
Oh, I love it. I actually love that movie.
Yeah, man, Frankenweenie is pretty
Did you
rad.
ever see the original?
Yeah.
With Daniel Stern and Shelley Duvall?
Yeah.
It's really
awesome.
good. I love it.
The only other two I'm going to mention, we went to the Mahoning Drive-In on Friday, and they did a double feature of Edward Scissorhands and Ed Wood, both on 35 millimeter.
You like Ed Wood, right?
I never shut up about Ed Wood. Ed Wood is... Even on Dave, on your podcast, even to your guests and your other hosts, I'm always like, did you watch Ed Wood? Did you watch Ed Wood yet? But the cool thing is, because I'm a big nerd, I weaseled my way into the projection booth, and I just asked them, I'm like, can I see the film reels for Ed Wood? And the lady said, if you promise not to hurt me,
and promise not to touch yourself. And you said one of two.
One of two things are going to happen, not both.
You pick.
But yeah, I got to see the actual film reels for Ed Wood, and it was literally like having that moment where I'm like, I never knew my holy grail was, but she popped the things open, and I just got really lightheaded.
No,
and I'm
I get it.
I'm such a
yeah, no, I love
don't
it.
know.
I'm happy that you were happy for that.
Yeah.
What was cool though is that
nice.
Ed Wood is one of those movies that I've probably seen more than any other movie, and I tell people this all the time. They'll be like, oh, what's your favorite movie? And I've seen far too many movies to name a favorite, you know what I mean? But it's the closest that I'll ever have to a favorite movie, and I just identify with it.
You can suggest that to anyone.
Ed Wood?
You do, yeah.
I do. I suggest it to everybody, and I'm always met with, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a Tim Burton movie, and they're like, really? Yeah.
Really?
I'm like, yeah, I think it's Johnny Depp's best performance, and they're like, really?
I agree.
No one knows about this gem of a movie, but all the way when I was learning how to do filmmaking properly, not just the amateurish shit that I used to do when I was a kid.
The business tree.
The business stuff, yeah. That's what I used to do. I would just pop that movie on, and I would just spend time writing, and it just always kept me very inspired. So to see it for the very first time on a big screen, and also a 35 millimeter
I was gonna say,
screening
on
of
film,
it, and then just being able to see the film reels. Again, anyone listening to this right now, you're probably like, what is wrong with this guy? But it really was a moment where I'm like, God, this movie has done so much for my life.
Yeah.
And kept me on track. And maybe I should blame it for the current state of my life.
A little
the
bit.
mess, the nightmare that it's become could very well be Ed Wood's fault. But that's a different story altogether. How about you, EJ? What else did you watch?
I watched Smile too.
Yeah?
And no, I actually ended up liking it. I thought Naomi Scott gives an amazing performance. She's worth watching the movie alone.
Is that not Florence Pugh?
No, that's not Florence Pugh.
No,
And it's not the lady from Trap. But no, I actually really like Smile too. Way more than I expected to. Because the first one I was like, oh, it's cool.
Then why don't you tell me that the first one was your favorite movie ever made?
What?
For years.
It is. The first one.
We go to parties. You can get the guy to shut the hell up about Smile.
Kids, stop. No, but Smile 2 is amazing. Jack Nicholson's son is in it, and he's phenomenal too.
Couldn't get Jack Nicholson?
No, they couldn't get him.
They don't have that Jack Nicholson money.
Yeah, but no, I saw that, and then Sleepy Hollow, which was great. Man of Steel, or no, not Man of Steel, Superman.
The Superman documentary.
Yeah,
Steel.
Yeah, it should. I don't know. But that was really good.
Same movie.
But yeah, nothing else, like nothing too crazy. And then Halloween 5. Oh, by the way, talking about Ed Wood, I got decorations specifically for the party. That's Ed Wood. Yeah.
Hint,
So-
wait till you see my...
I can't wait.
I'm just saying.
I'm excited.
I may
Yeah.
have a costume coming up.
But let's talk about Halloween 5.
You two are fucking nerds, man.
Shut up. We are not. We're pretty cool.
It's a miracle anyone loves us.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty cool guy. No, but
It's that shirt that says "cool guy!"
Cool guy.
Exclamation point.
But Halloween 5. So the first time Vince, you watched this for the first time this week.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It was entertaining to say the least.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the floating downhill of the corpse of.
Oh, don't you worry. Save your thoughts.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Who's the Doctor.
Donald Pleasance.
Donald, my
He's
God,
great, right?
Like you would think by movie 5 he's gonna phone it in, but he came with the same energy
Dude,
as
he
like
sharpened his teeth. He
like
was ready to choose
Ian
some
McKellen.
He's like, get me ready.
Yeah, he came in with the intensity of Ian McKellen in like the caves of Moria. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like and the same energy that Gandalf came in with.
You shall not pass.
It's just yeah. Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? He came in so intense in this movie. I loved it. I loved every second because he's just so intense. And I think he was like 4 inches away from everybody's face this entire movie.
Yeah.
And I bet they smelled gin.
just
Alcohol, cigarettes,
yes,
burnt flesh.
Yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm gonna throw shit bombs throughout the movie. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad you're here then.
Dave, how about you? When was the first time you got to see this movie?
2000.
Really?
Yes. So I just started freshman year high school, and we used to be able to go out for lunch to eat. And there used to be a Pathmark right next to where we used to eat lunch, and they used to sell VHSs. So I saved a week's worth of money and bought Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and I saw it on VHS, and I absolutely loved it. So immediately I went to the video store that weekend, and I said, I'm going to watch Halloween 5, because at the end of Halloween 4, it's just an iconic ending, and I'm like, oh my God, they can't possibly drop the ball as a 14-year-old. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And then I turned on the movie, I put it in my VCR, and I'm like, all right, so she's a mute now. So yeah, that's a fucking choice. And then as the movie progresses, I realized they didn't just drop the ball, they just like buried this entire franchise into the abyss. So in the span of a year, they add a wing to the Myers house that was abandoned. That's number one. Number two, they decide to kill off one of the best characters in the franchise and substitute her with one of the worst human beings that ever existed on planet Earth. And then thirdly, and I know Rory loves this guy, but Cookie Woman Man. I've never seen a boy have such little riz than what's his name? Billy?
Billy.
Like, you know this little kid's gonna grow up and get zero play.
Jamie.
He's not bussing. No cap.
No cap.
And then I will say I did love the ending. I don't know what the Man in Black meant, and neither did the director, Dominique Autherine-Girard, because he has been on record saying that he just threw him in there and he'll let the people making the sequel figure it out. That's what you want from a fucking director. Yep.
Well, it was cool because like I figured out who the Man in Black was pretty quickly by the end. Clearly, it was Dick Tracy.
Yes,
because there's that silhouette of him just shooting the Tommy gun.
I think you guys have already done Curse of Michael Myers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so you already know who the Man in Black is? That's wonderful.
I bet Vince already forgot, right?
I definitely forgot about it already.
Yeah. He just probably didn't retain it on purpose.
No, yeah. Why? I have a very short-term memory.
You took that movie like you were being attacked. Like you just kind of let it happen to you just to kind of get it over with.
It's kind of like when you're getting held hostage and the hostage takers make you do sexual favors. You just get through it, you know? You put your head down, you motor through, and you get yourself where you need to be for safety. Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween 5 is like you're at a
Best
frat
review.
party and your friend gets the really hot girl. You just have to take her for the team. That's Halloween 5.
Yes.
You just got to do it. You got to do it. You don't really want to, but every time you watch this franchise, you just have to get through Halloween 5.
Yeah. Rory, how about you? First time?
So I'm going to take a different angle with this. I saw this movie back in 1990, the year of our Lord. And when I saw it, I was very young.
It was a different time.
It was a very different time. When I saw it, I was like, this is Citizen fucking Kane.
Yeah.
Because it was
Same.
like, I don't know, because I was a dumb kid.
You had another one like that too, didn't you? That like you just were in love with it, and you're like, wow,
And
this is how movies
and
should
you
be
grow
made.
up and you realize that people just hate it. But I mean, like, because it's like since then I've been able to see it with adult eyes, and I see it for its flaws, because it definitely is the point in which the problems within the franchise started. Because like up to the fourth movie, everything was pretty solid. This is where the cracks started to show in the franchise, and it started to kind of fall apart a little bit. But when I was a kid, I remember watching it and I loved it. And actually, when I think I was about 6 at this point, I got really sick, and my parents were very lax about R-rated movies.
That sounds about right.
Horrible violence. That they were cool to expose me to it. But I was very sick, and I kept watching this movie on a loop, and I just loved it. And
It was there for you.
it was
in your time of
it took
need.
care of
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I like
My
that.
parents were just like, "You're on your own," and they threw a VHS at me. They're like, "You'll be fine." But no, I mean, again, I get it now when I watch it. Even the other night when I was watching it, I'm like, weird choices.
Yeah.
But
So many.
But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to talk about. EJ,
Yes.
what was your first experience
Well,
with
I
this
was,
movie?
I was a little kid myself, and
Yeah.
I probably watched it when it went to video finally.
1990.
Yeah, so I watched it then, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I was like, I love this guy, Michael Myers. He's so cool. I thought he looked really
buddy.
weird in this one, but I still loved it. And Adam and I would just like watch this movie a lot. Not as much as
Wait, are
probably
you talking about
6
Event Horizon episode? Adam Farley,
Adam Farley,
the guy
yes.
who you could look up his music on Spotify or wherever you listen
yeah.
to music.
And Apple Music too. It's all
yeah.
there.
Has a new song called Carson Song. If you just want to look it up, take
Yeah.
some time.
It's
that,
there.
that Adam Farley.
That one.
That Adam Farley.
Wow,
yeah.
look up his music, everyone.
So we
Seamless.
would seamless, so good.
Wow.
But no, we would watch all the Halloween movies, and we were like super fans. So like, I don't know, we loved it. But as an adult, yeah, you can see there's a lot of problems with this
yeah.
movie.
You know what this movie's like? It's like you remember in Star Wars Episode 3 that ship that Anakin's trying to land.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that, like the whole way, it's just kind of like crashing into the earth, and they just managed to get it onto the ground.
It hits everything on its way.
Another happy landing.
Oh, boy.
Rory, you know what this movie needed? Creed.
It did.
Yeah,
All
it
movies
did.
need Creed. We didn't
Yeah.
get Creed in a Halloween movie until Halloween H2O.
Yep.
They're rocking the
Yeah,
song
that's
"What's
true.
This
In the,
Life
in the
For?"
post credit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
But yeah, so let's get into it. So this film starts with a little recap of Halloween 4, and we get to see Michael, shot to death.
Can we talk real quick just
Yeah.
before we get to that part? Those opening credits for the movie's fault. The credits to this are awesome.
And the music, though. I do like that.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
neat.
that was cool.
It's a cool variation.
Yeah.
When we saw Alan Howarth play live, he kind
Yeah.
of implied that he wasn't terribly happy about it. But,
Right.
but the music's cool. But I like the way it starts with the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
The music and the score, because there are some like crazy moments in this movie.
Romeo.
We'll talk
Romeo.
about the other score
okay,
choices
okay,
later. Yeah.
There's a couple of them
The
that
police
jump out.
officers, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, good.
We'll get there.
yeah.
Patience, young Vince.
I'm sorry.
No, but the opening credits for this movie's faults, it's pretty rad.
Yeah. So so we see Michael. He's shot to death and he falls into a well. But luckily, before they throw dynamite down there, Michael crawls out of the well, and he crawls into a stream.
He arrogants himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And he flips into the stream. Cue the boys and the girls are doing it. But eventually, we see where
takes a little ride down the lazy river.
Right, like, a little Bill and Ted. So eventually, Michael pulls himself to land, and he's found by this guy who's living nearby, and it's this old man living in a shack near the river
with a great parrot actor.
Yeah.
Anyone else catch that?
Oh yeah.
And
I looked on the credits or the subtitles, and it sounds like he's calling the bird Snooky, but then it's also Tookie.
Oh, Tookie.
Make your choice, America, what you want it to be. I don't give a fuck.
Cookie, but
But
okay.
I know that parrot's a good actor.
And the old man's name is Grumble Snitch.
That's a D&D reference, right?
Yeah, it is. So he is kind of like nurses Michael, like he grabs Michael and he kind of helps him out into a bed. Then we flash forward to 1 year later, Halloween Eve, which really isn't a full year later, to be honest. But we see a children's clinic.
The math doesn't really add up, does it?
The math isn't mathin'.
Hey, just the man letting him crash in the shack for a year?
Yeah.
What was that situation like?
Yeah, I'm surprised he why didn't he go for help? He's not like, maybe I should call this guy. He has 1 million shot wounds. Maybe I should call a hospital.
I'll just lay him on this table till his heart stops. That's what my grandfather used to do for us.
I'm just going to have him sip water. So we see a children's clinic that now houses Jamie from Halloween 4. And she wakes up from a nightmare from when she was almost killed her stepmother. Because they allude that she's like still alive.
Is it a foster child or a foster mother?
Yeah, so it's
there's a difference between a foster mother and a stepmother.
Right. So in this movie,
But
they
they
keep
call
saying
them stepmother.
stepsister, stepmother. So I'm like, did the father remarry? Oh, because it keeps talking about like the mother, like she's still alive. I don't know. It's really weird because
It's almost like whoever wrote
like,
this script
she's
didn't know.
dead, and then this one you're like, oh, she's still alive, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
It's kind of like takes the power out of the end of 4.
Yes,
Because it's kind of like supposed to be a full circle kind of thing.
Which is sad because the ending of 4 was epic.
Yeah.
It was really
And
powerful.
I didn't know until I was adult. I thought she was dead the whole time, right? And then I remember watching this when I was like maybe 18, like a revisit, and I went, oh wait, she's still alive? Like I just thought she was dead. Because they're like, your stepmother's, we'll have to call her later. And I'm like, what? I thought she was dead. But
They couldn't make her deal, so
Yeah.
she's not. Yeah.
So anyways, we learn she is now mute, not moot, but like her uncle Michael Myers. And I was like, is that supposed to be because of like the psychic link? Like, because he doesn't talk, right? I don't know. If
the filmmakers didn't know either.
yeah, I don't think they
Wait.
they knew.
No one knew.
Are you confused by this movie
A little.
and the goings-ons?
I have a lot of question marks.
Okay,
in
good.
my
All right, cool.
Yeah,
I have a lot of question
I
marks
feel like
in
you're
here.
like the Riddler.
Yeah.
There's so many question marks on your paper.
I'm,
Riddle me
I'm
this.
Nash
What the
over
fuck's
here.
going on?
Yeah. So we see she's now mentally linked to Michael, and she sees him waking up in Grumble Snitch's shack, and he puts on like his awkward mask, and the mask is weird because it's like one size too big. It looks like a kid when he puts on like an adult size mask. I know it's like supposed to be Greg Nicotero, right?
Yeah.
Like made the mask, and it's like cast from his face or
Yeah.
something. But like, I was just like, this mask looks like way too big, especially in that scene.
What's unfortunate is that they reuse the footage from 4 where the mask is dramatically different looking.
So different looking.
Because what's really funny is that like when you get to the 4th movie, you can almost excuse the fact that the mask looks different because it's a different version of the mask, but you cannot excuse a completely different molding between 4 and 5, which is just a year span.
I'm like, is it waterlogged? Is that why?
Yeah, it's definitely the lazy river.
He reshaped it that year that he spent in the shack.
Right.
I liked your pun. You didn't know
Yeah.
that you made one, but you did.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
You
you.
reshaped it.
So, anyways,
Sure.
Jamie, through
Whatever,
her,
man.
through her psychic link, she witnesses Michael murder this old man, and she starts to convulse and stuff. And eventually, she settles down when Loomis gets there, and they're like, "Oh, let's operate. We have to open her throat up." He's like, "No, let her go. Let her go."
Why is the doctor taking cues from a psychiatrist?
Right. He's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes, let her go."
Hey, we got to see Michael's sweet new wrist tat,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
which I thought would have been much better if it was a tramp stamp.
Lower back,
yeah.
Lower
Like-
back.
Yeah, a little lower
like a
back action.
unicorn
Yeah.
jumping over
Yeah.
a rainbow, something like that.
Like if Michael bent over to pick something up and his shirt just went up a little bit.
It's
a little plumber's crack, and you saw. Okay.
lower back tat. Cool.
Sweet tat, Mikey.
Yeah. I wish it was now. So the
You'll
next
never
day,
get that out of your head.
It's
I
a
know.
different movie.
It's a whole different movie. The next day, Jamie gets a visit from her sister Rachel and Rachel's friend Tina, who is
The worst.
Dave's favorite
Dave's
character.
favorite character.
Say it again. So they give Jamie her new costume, and Dr. Loomis shows up, and he's there to greet them. And all of a sudden, a brick is thrown through the window with a note attached saying, "The evil child must die." And I would like to imagine that is just how the mailing system works in Haddonfield. They just throw bricks through windows.
That form of mail didn't really take off.
Yeah, it didn't really, but the accuracy too. There's a million. I would imagine all these windows in this clinic, right? Children's clinic, and they're like, I think this is hers, and they just throw the brick through that window.
Yeah, it's good that they know which window is hers. Do you,
Right.
do you think there was a couple times they got it wrong?
Yeah, and they
What
just see
you
the.
didn't know is that mail service took so long that brick was sent out in 1963, and it was for little Mikey Myers.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Muggles, but okay.
I picture some other kid just recovering from some horrible disease. Throw a brick through the window. Are you Jamie Lloyd? No. Next room, guys.
2 doors down.
It hit Billy's bedroom, and he's like, what?
What?
I'm not that bad. So Rachel,
Next room.
one room over. So Rachel complains to Loomis about people taking it out on Jamie, and he just says, it's just Michael's fault, right? He's like, that's, she's Michael's niece. It's expected. I'm like, I don't know.
And in the midst of it, he helps fix the little scarecrow's hair.
Yeah.
I always love that. He kind of tousles it around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a real weird acting choice. And EJ, God damn you for skipping over Max the dog.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, Max is awesome. I did have him written
Thespian,
here,
if
but
ever there was one.
yeah, Max the pupper, he was cool.
Is this before or after she forgets to give him water?
Oh no, Max he just shows up in the hospital.
This is okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah. And
The
then
clinic.
Dr. Loomis comes in and the dog even knows he's fucked up.
yeah. The dog's like, whoa,
It's this real tough dog, and he's just like, oh, Dr. Loomis.
shit.
This guy's rough.
So
No. Sorry.
So Rachel and Tina get home.
No, you're not.
You're not sorry. So Rachel and Tina get home, and they chat about the upcoming farm party. And Tina jets out, and Rachel is about to jump in the shower. Meanwhile, downstairs, Max is barking like crazy. And we see that it's Michael who's creeping around. And Jamie, through her link, is seeing all this. And so she starts to draw on the bulletin board, a dog's teeth and mouth and all that. And she ends up they call Loomis, right? And Loomis comes in, he's like, call Rachel now. And so they call.
So accurate.
So accurate.
Thank God for subtitles.
So good. And so
Also, when
yeah.
Rachel is feeding the dog, they're blasting the song. It's called Romeo, Romeo.
Yeah.
And all I wanted was one shot of Michael just kind of hiding and bobbing his head to it, just kind of reacting to music.
Night at the Raxbury.
Yeah.
It was just so I like that Rachel hears the phone ringing, right? And yells to it. She's like, coming. I'm coming. Hold on 1 second. And I'm like, you're talking to a phone.
Yeah.
It's not like someone.
As if they could hear it on the other end.
I don't think that's how phones work, right?
That's not how it works. But
Why is she?
I'm like, all right, whatever. So Dr. Loomis tells her to check on Max, and she goes downstairs. She sees that he's gone. So Loomis tells her, leave the house and run to the neighbors, call the cops as fast as you can.
Which producer couldn't wait to get her into a towel?
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, all
we
right.
gotta have a shower scene. We gotta.
It's a real disservice to the character because they kind of reduced her to like just
A sex bot?
kind of.
Yeah,
Because like her character is like very strong and smart and like likable in the first one, even though she's literally like kind of shitty to her foster sister. Or
whatever.
Sister. Whatever the logic is in this universe.
Person
Yeah.
that's younger. But yeah, no, Dr. Loomis tells her, to do this. So she does. And then we see the two cops that arrive. And they have circus music or sound composed.
Bow, bow, bow.
I believe it's called
Like one of those.
I believe it's called a motif when you have music that follows you, kind of like Darth Vader's motif is the Imperial March. And these guys, I don't get what is happening. Like, we actually had to stop the movie and rewind to make sure that like there wasn't a phone going off in the background with this ridiculous music. And then when it came back on, we were like, what the hell is happening? Yeah, it's crazy.
What is that thing that you like shake?
Yeah.
The
the
noisemakers.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like. So
This
anyways,
has been the sound effect segment of prequels.
so we
I
see
think so.
these guys show up, and I'm not sure why they get this music, but whatever, they do. And while she's like, what about Max? Is he inside? And then we
The
just see
Dolby, right?
the Dolby, and we just see Max like running down, and he has like a little stuffed animal in his mouth, and everything checks out.
I kind of like how they're like, that's kind of what we do. We save dogs and stuff like that. But he's eyeing her up and down the entire time.
Yeah, and
Just
they didn't do
so thrilled.
anything.
Yeah,
Like, the
they
dog
were-
came back itself.
Yeah, but
like,
they were thrilled with the situation that
and they're
been
like,
put in.
let's
Yeah.
take credit for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think they checked the house that well.
No, they didn't.
Right.
No.
Nothing above, nothing below.
Yeah. So at the hospital, Loomis begs Jamie to write down what she saw, but Jamie cries. And he's like, write down what you saw. Write down what you saw.
Tell me what is it?
And I'm like, all right. Shit. Like, he really is turned
Yes.
up in this movie. I don't know.
At this point, she feels safer with Michael.
I think so.
Seriously. I think so too. So at Rachel's, Max sparks up a storm again, and we see Michael pop out, and he ends up stabbing Rachel with some scissors.
Hey, fun fact about this director. So the reason that he wanted to kill off Rachel is because he wanted the lead to have dark hair. And someone didn't have the smarts to tell him, people dye their hair, Dominique.
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Or
a real
a
simple
wig.
switch.
Yeah.
Just something. Write it into the fucking script. Like, she's like, she's traumatized and she's wants to look different. She doesn't want to be recognized. She doesn't want to be found. Whatever.
They reduce. It's really sad because this character in Part 4 is one of the best characters in the Halloween franchise, I would say.
And the fans
Rachel.
let them know their
Yeah.
displeasure of that too. You know that originally they wanted to like shove scissors down her throat or something, and she's like, "No,
No, yeah.
what are you crazy?
It's insane.
Stab me, get me out of this fucking movie."
So, over at the police station, we see Loomis beg the Sheriff Meeker from Part 4, to take him serious about Michael. And he's like, don't you remember your daughter died?
No,
It's
I
like,
forgot what happened.
Oh, yeah, that was Halloween, wasn't it?
That's one of the frustrating things with movies like this is that they're always like, Michael Myers is dead. Like that guy who literally came back from
Yeah.
the dead and took bullets and you know,
Right.
I don't know.
The guy who was shot before in 78? Yeah, he's back.
Survived a dynamite explosion from a well. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy they lit on fire and he was completely engulfed in it and walked a few steps. It doesn't seem hard to believe that he would come back. I do like that Donald Pleasance likes to show everybody his burns.
Yeah. He's like, look at this.
Look what happened. He's just like, will you please stop showing me the burns?
You should see. Look at this.
Starts taking his clothes off.
What if he was like Kitty?
This is nothing worth looking at anymore.
What if he was like Kitty from Arrested Development? Say goodbye to these. It's just all burnt. Oh, man. So Tina returns to Rachel's, and she can't find her. And her pal Samantha shows up, and we see Michael kind of watching them from inside. And Tina and Sam discuss Sam's plans for hooking up that night. Susudioing. And then Tina's boyfriend,
what does
Michael,
she say to her when
up.
she's like talking about hooking up with that 40-year-old man? She's like, I just flipped my skirt.
Yeah.
What is that dialogue?
I don't know. It's
Bruce.
It's weird.
I see Bruce.
Yeah, see
Yeah.
Bruce is attacking Dave right now. Dave's cat is taking him out. I want to be on mic.
Put me on.
He's like, don't treat me like Rachel treated Max.
Put that camera on me.
Dave, stop talking about Halloween 5.
Dave, does that cat have water?
Yeah. Why?
Okay, good, because Max didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we see when Tina's boyfriend shows up, which his name is Mike as well.
Oh, how original.
Yeah. He shows up, and he's in his cool guy car. And he's
Beautiful car, by the way.
It is a nice car. Do you know what kind of car it is?
That's a Camaro from 19... I have no idea. I mean,
I was like, you are normally the car guy.
Normally, yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is that he looks like somebody that would have been cooler in like the 50s.
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
looked like an extra from Happy Days that just missed
Exactly.
it.
I was going to go from Grease Lightning, but yeah, Happy Days will work also.
Hey, where's my T-Bird jacket?
So one weird
Cigarettes
thing.
rolled up in his sleeve.
I don't know if anybody else noticed this or not, but there's a part where Tina and Sammy are talking, and you
Yeah.
see Michael Myers in the background.
Behind the tree.
Yeah, and he's literally walking around like
Yeah.
the director didn't give him any direction or something, because he's literally just walking around and fiddling with the garden tool in his hand. It's
Yeah.
so
It's
awkward.
awkward.
Yeah.
It's really awkward. It's not scary at all. You're just like, there's a guy just behind the tree. It's not like...
It's just
I
it's
don't
so
know.
weird.
Handful of
So,
scenes that could have been cut out of this
Scream
movie.
is like
One
one
of
of my the original Scream is like one of my favorite movies of all time, but there's just one goofy awkward scene in it, and it's in the grocery store when he just shows up and he's like,
Oh yeah, he's looking around.
It's
Yeah.
like, what?
That feels like a producer note.
Yeah, that was so. It's such a weird thing, but this is like kind of the same. It's
Why
like,
would he dress up in the Scream costume?
Yeah, to
Wouldn't
go
it be
into a
eas-
grocery store,
Wouldn't it be easier to keep an eye on her as like a regular civilian?
right? Like what? I don't know. So we'll get there. One
Don't
day.
try and justify it.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Jamie spots Michael watching her from outside of like the clinic. So she starts to run through the hospital, trying to escape this version of Michael, right? And at first, I think it's like a nightmare because it feels like it's filmed to look like a nightmare.
It feels dreamy.
Yeah, and it goes on a little, maybe too long, I would say.
Yeah. It's not a terrible little sequence.
No, it's not.
Kind of like this whole movie. But yeah.
It's just kind of weird when she like looks out the window and she's like, "Is that him? That mask doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit bigger.
It looks like a totally different person. Is there a child wearing that mask?
Who is this guy?
Why does it look so big on him?"
So she runs into the basement and she's found by the maintenance man. And they take her back upstairs where she literally gets verbally abused by Dr. Loomis.
He's like shaking her. And
Yeah. And he's like, tell me!
I like when he's like, they said that a coffin for a 9-year-old girl went missing
What
from
do you
the.
think he's gonna do with that?
What do you think?
Tell me what you know.
And he's like, kind of like being like, why are you protecting Michael? And she's like,
The director won't tell me.
yeah, I don't know my direction
I don't
here.
know what the script's about.
So then downtown, by Vincent Drug, where they, from the first one, that's where Michael got his first mask.
Oh yeah.
We see a man in black exit a bus, and it's random.
It's like cowboy boots. Yeah.
Yeah, he has like spurs.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this person? Is it Desperado?
No. Don't worry. They'll explain it by the end of the movie.
Is it the mariachi killer?
Yes.
Yeah.
All I know is that guy can go fuck himself because he kicks that little dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He sucks.
You know what? That kid just looks at him. He just looks up at him. I'd be like, why don't you kick my fucking dog? What's the matter with you? You apologize to this woof woof.
So Dr. Loomis goes to check out the Myers home, and we see the bus stop guy is watching from the shadows. Like, he's in the house, and he's still carrying, like, a briefcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just, like, hanging out in the house, and Dr. Loomis, like, totally doesn't even see this guy.
Nope.
I don't know. But I like that he didn't, like, go to check into a hotel or anything. He
went right, yeah.
I'm going right to the Myers house.
Well, I
Did
know
anyone talk to him on the bus?
Right, like, what's going on here?
cool black costume. No, I know, like, one of the original ideas that they said for the Man in Black was that it was supposed to be like a sibling to Michael Myers. It was supposed to be like a long lost brother. They were going like the Days of Our Lives route.
Yeah.
And then they
I was in a coma for 40 years.
I was the brother that they don't talk about. Hugo Myers. But yeah, I think that was the idea of him maybe going to the house. It's like, I grew up in this Frankenstein castle.
And the house, by the way, is like a completely different house.
What a disaster.
Didn't even try to make it look like the original, Michael Myers house from part 1 and stuff. They're just like, that house looks like has like some gothic tones. Let's go with that one.
Just use it.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I know they shot it in Utah, right? I think
Yeah, it was like Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah. And so I'm sure you could have found like a house that looked more appropriate.
Dude, a trailer would have looked better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this old Victorian house.
Yeah.
Like it looked like it fell out of one of those Universal Frankenstein movies.
Yeah, it's weird. So, anyways,
Would it be funny if you went up to the attic and it was just like a laboratory?
And he's like, "It's alive." But Michael Myers observes Tina and her boyfriend Mike, and Mike is like obsessed with cleaning his car, and
gotta keep it clean.
And then they're joined by Spritz, who's kind of like Sam's boyfriend, and we see Spritz, or is it Spritz or Spitz?
Yes,
Spitz. So,
But also, yes.
Yeah, he gets scolded for touching the car.
Yeah, don't touch his fucking car.
Yeah,
You just waxed it.
he's like, "Whoa, look at this!" And he's just like,
Nice wax job.
"Yeah, nice wax job."
Touch the car again and you're dead, okay? That's my whole character. I like my car.
Really
all I
about
got.
this guy.
Oh, by the way, all these you can't see me at home right now, but I'm doing the quotey fingers. These teens,
Yeah,
they look like they're what did you say? Hard 20s.
hard 20s.
Hard.
Like Spitz looks like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah, he looks like he worked at Dairy Queen. I don't know. He's just like nothing around. You know what? Take that Dairy Queen joke out.
Yeah, I'm taking it right out.
Yeah, because I don't want anyone to think I'm not. I worked at Dairy Queen.
Did
at one
you?
point. Yeah, I did, and it was awesome, and I liked it. But he
I
looked
can't
like a
be on
manager.
I can't be on the show with you.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
Dairy Queen? You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't put that on your application.
It was in the mall, and
Did you do the thing where you held it upside down?
yeah,
Is that a thing?
we had to. We
Yeah.
would always be like, "Yeah, we made your blizzard. Here you go," all the time. It was terrible. Anyways,
No. Let's talk about Dairy
Oh,
Queen.
one other thing before we move on. As far as Mikey goes with his car,
yeah,
he's like really like annoyed when people touch it, but he doesn't think much of those tires.
No.
no,
You know what
he's just like peels out.
I believe
doing
it's.
donuts
Yeah,
around Jamie's hospital.
yeah. He's like,
I believe it's a '67 Camaro. I'm just throwing that out there.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
no, that's great. So Mikey goes and picks up the beer, and that's when he comes across Michael, who is hilarious in this movie, in these next few scenes. So Michael scratches the side of the car with like a gardening tool, right? And
A spade.
Oh yeah, and
Maybe.
so
Something.
Mikey gets out of the car. He's like, "Hey, asshole!"
He goes, All right, asshole. You want to play?
Yeah, you want to play?
Trick or track?
What if he said trick or treat, motherfucker? Do you think that would have been
Changed the movie?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Busta Rhymes.
He comes out and he's like, there can only be one Highlander. There can only be one Michael.
But we see Michael, kill Mikey, and then he takes the mask that Tina gave Mikey, and Michael puts it on, and we cut over to the children's clinic, and Jamie and the others are having like a Halloween costume pageant, and her friend gives her a bracelet. He's like, Billy, he's like, here, this is for good luck.
For you, for good luck.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if she just like threw it in his face.
Yeah. She's like, oh, thanks. And then she just like left it.
Or like a hard cut and she's like selling it at a pawn shop.
That'd be so good.
That mask that Michael takes, I think they call it like the Brute mask.
Yeah, the Brute. Yeah.
That was supposed to be a Ronald Reagan mask.
Oh.
And then they said, we didn't want to get political. And I'm like, man, what a time.
What if they cut it because Don Shanks just kept doing impressions of Ronald Reagan?
I'm a liar.
Well.
Oh, well, we're going to go to the party. And they're like, please stop. And Don Shanks is like, no.
Or if he started doing the wrong presidents, like, I am not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
That's the wrong president, Don.
Yeah, you keep doing Nixon. We need to stop.
No, this is definitely Reagan that I'm doing. It's definitely Reagan.
So then over at Tina's, Michael Myers picks up Tina, and
why does she get to live in Rachel's house?
I think they're like roommates. Yeah. So a part of me doesn't understand. So I'm thinking the parents
Just
were
a part
out
of you doesn't understand?
No, like I said, there's a lot of question marks here. But so I think the parents are out of town for the weekend, and then Rachel lives there, obviously, and I guess Tina is also staying there, or is it like a situation where Tina and Rachel just
You've put way too much thought into this.
This is the logic of the movie. The movie cannot argue. It's clear that Tina is somebody she goes to school with, and I can only say that because you could say that maybe she's visiting from like out of town.
Oh, yeah,
but she's got buddies. She's got Sammy. She's got Spitz. She's got a local boyfriend.
Right.
So the logic of the movie is I get to live in Rachel's house because I don't know that she's dead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
No. Because at the beginning she's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, can you believe we have this house to ourselves for the weekend?" And you're like, "Why?"
They're dead in the basement.
Is it like a what do they call those things? The bed and breakfast. What do they call them? Airbnb.
Yeah.
Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah, they're in
Yeah.
Acapulco
Rachel,
this week.
the Crothers are in some financial problems, so they're like, we just rent the house out.
No, they're down in Boca this week, so they wanted to make a little extra
Oh,
scratch.
by the way, Jamie went from Jamie Lloyd, right, to Jamie Carruthers in this one.
Just like her mother was her foster mother and her stepmother.
Yeah. Because I was like, wait, is the dad married? Like, was he married to Laurie Strode and had Jane? What, like, he was married to his first wife and had Rachel, divorced her, met Laurie, had a kid with her, and then remarried the first wife?
So this is what I think happened. I have an idea.
Again,
So,
guys, you've put way too much thought into this.
Hear me out. The screenwriter says, hey, producers, should I watch the other 4? Nah, don't worry about it.
You got this.
Don't worry about it. Just write whatever bullshit you want.
He fell a little
Checks
well.
come either way.
He fell a little well. That's all we got.
Can I just put a scene where he floats down the lazy river? Do you really need that in the script? It kind of takes away the mystique of the boogeyman.
I'm really into water slides. I think this is a good scene.
I get that, but I don't know if this is like the right franchise.
No. It's needed. It's needed. We got it. We got to do it.
I mean, can I ask you one thing? Can you justify it to me, like in the office right now?
Yeah, I'm looking for a demographic that's about water slides. All right?
But like, what about Michael Myers says water slides to you?
Everything.
All right. Just put it in the fucking movie.
So Jamie sees through her psychic link that Tina is in trouble, and we get this hilarious stuff with Michael, kind of like being an asshole to Tina, because she's like, stop at that store, and he just drives right past it.
Very funny.
And then he stops the car
and
like
then
abruptly.
throws it in reverse.
Yeah. And he's just doing all this stuff. And Jamie starts telling...
Maybe he's just really bad at driving, though, too. That could also be, like, he doesn't know where the brake is, the accelerator. He's not sure.
Yeah, he's just like, I hit the gas instead of the brake. All right.
He doesn't know any better.
I'm figuring this out.
One day at a time.
So Jamie starts telling Loomis where Michael is located, and the police start to... The police arrive in time to save Tina, and they take her to the clinic where Jamie can talk again, surprising Tina. Because it just comes out of, like, she just is like...
Say it again!
Yeah. She's like, say it again!
I do like...
Tina!
I love when
She goes full E.T.
I do love when she says the famous cookie woman thing.
Cookie.
Dr. Loomis goes, a big woman who works in the store, huh?
His lines are amazing.
It's just I don't know. It's really funny.
So Jamie begs Tina not to go to the party, and Dr. Loomis tries to as well, but she's like, you know what? You're really creepy, and I hate that you fill all these lies and put them into like Jamie's head. He's like,
stop warning this town about this impending doom.
Yeah. Why are you like going all crazy Carl with us?
I love when we were like Beck and I were watching this
Crazy
the other
Ralph.
night.
Yeah.
I got you. You're
Yeah.
good. I love when Beck and I were watching this the other night, and Jamie's like sobbing, begging her not to leave.
Yeah.
Because like, why would she just leave her to sob like that?
Yeah, just runs downstairs.
She's like,
I'm done with you.
Yeah, just started talking again, and she's just like, please don't go. She's like, fuck you, gotta go.
I gotta have a good time. It's like all about
I gotta go to the Tower Farm party.
The Tower Farm.
Tower Farm, man. So Loomis tells
Fill her head with all that boogeyman crap.
Yeah. And then I like she runs out.
Wait, just like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to stay on this, but she says she says you're really creepy for filling your head with all that boogeyman crap. But the logic in that universe is that he probably killed a bunch of her friends in the last movie.
Yeah. So it's like
they're all very aware that there's this like unkillable monster that shows up on Halloween. They just all like to refuse to believe it.
I think like 3 of Rachel's classmates died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're not gonna like at least believe Rachel about it. I don't know.
The guy's got a good track record. He shows up in the Haddonfield. He's like, this guy's coming. Everyone tells him no, and then it happens. I'm like, maybe listen to him.
This fucking guy every Halloween.
I'm sorry for staying on this, but I don't know. It's baffling to me.
Imagine if like Dr. Loomis between Halloween 2 and Halloween 4, every Halloween he's like, he's coming back.
Or he just like calls the police station and is he back?
Yeah.
No, we're good. Okay.
Damn it.
Next year. Is Michael there? Like I don't know. Can you just check the asylum? Oh, he's sleeping. Never mind.
He's okay. He's good. He's
in a
asleep.
coma.
So Loomis tells the clown cops to keep an eye on her, right? Because she like just runs out. He's like, follow her, and they're like, why? And then hate it. What is the choice? Why that choice? I don't get it.
Because the director isn't like a very good filmmaker.
Provide a little bit of levity for the scene. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
like,
bizarre and takes you out of the movie.
I really want to sell these guys as the comic relief.
Yes.
And he goes to the composer. He's like, guys, could you just like, what circus noises do you have?
Oh, we don't think this is the right movie for circus noises.
Oh, no. Trust me, these cops are hilarious, and people are gonna know.
Is this a joke?
No. This movie has everything.
I don't mean to overstep my bounds here.
Water slides, clown music.
It doesn't sound like your
MTV's
team
Jam
knows what
Cortez.
it's doing.
No, we don't.
You guys are making
this.
a major motion picture. It just seems like you're fucking around.
No, we got this. So the clown cops give
We're gonna
Tina...
make 7 more.
Yeah, we're gonna make at least 7 more after this. Oh my god,
It's so sad. It's so sad and unnecessary.
So the clown cops give Tina a ride to the farm, and Jamie escapes the clinic with her pal Billy. to go to the Tower Farm to find Tina. Meanwhile, Michael arrives to the party, and we see Spitz pull a prank on the cops with Tina and Sam, which I do like that part when they run out and Michael's like after them.
Also not funny.
Yeah.
Like considering what has happened in this town.
Context.
In context,
Within the
considering,
film, he's dressed up as the murderer who probably killed his friends like not even a year ago.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, we would probably make those
be on
same
that
we would
within
make those
seconds.
jokes.
Yeah.
As
If
soon
our
as our
friends
friends
got killed,
died, we would we'd have jokes ready.
And I like when Tina's like, "Don't kill my friend, she's a virgin," and he's like,
Got her phone number.
"Yeah, so good."
It's a different
And
time.
here's a question that no one's pondered yet in any retrospective of this movie: how do you get a mask that looks exactly like the one that just flowed through the river?
I think I got
Exactly.
this. I think I got this. He was in a Halloween store, wasn't he? Like, where do these kids get this mask? Where did all the other kids get the mask for this? I think wasn't he in a
Vincent.
Halloween store
It's
at
like
some point?
Vincent's, right?
I think
Vincent's
so.
drugstore, yes.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what would have been really funny if Spitz was wearing the mask from 4?
Well,
Yeah.
wait. Let's also wrap our head around this in the same sense that you're saying that these people are bringing masks into the store of a murderer that has
Right.
killed several people in their town.
To their defense, the internet is not around in 1989. They probably don't know.
It's essentially the equivalent of like wearing a Dahmer mask in wherever he was at that time, like
How
a
can
year
I
later.
capitalize on a local tragedy?
Yes, let's do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Is this
Or he
insensitive? I mean, really, it wouldn't be a big deal to pull the mask.
right.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we bought the masks from China for $1.25. We're gonna sell them for $7. Think of the profit.
Think of the profits.
And then Spitz grabs a mask, and Dominique Girard puts a close-up of the tag, and it says, "Beware of water damage."
I love it. No, I do like the cops immediately pull their guns out, right?
Yes.
To like just shoot Spitz.
Yeah, literally, like job number one is de-escalate, and
Yeah.
job number one for them was bring out your gun.
Yeah. And then
Those cops look like they would just throw a pie in Michael's face.
right.
And then put a whoopee cushion on his seat.
What if they pulled out a
Slide
whoopee
whistle.
cushion instead of a gun? They're like, "Oh no!"
He goes for his gun, pulls out like a rubber chicken.
Yeah. Oh.
We're not really good at our jobs.
So we see where Tina and the couple, they go into the barn, and Tina gets distracted by a little kitten.
Kittens of
I'm sure you got
NEPA
notes
Rescue.
on. I was gonna say, I'm sure you got
Yeah.
notes on this.
You can look up the kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. Some of these cats actually do signings for them. So if you guys are interested in getting an autograph from the cats from Halloween 5, look up kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue.
Yeah. And do that.
I'm sorry you have to deal with me.
No, rightfully so. No, it's good. I love that you
get that plug in whenever you can.
Hell yeah, man. And after getting entitled to a good scare by Spitz, she leaves the couple alone in the barn, and the couple do their thing,
Studioing.
and hook up in the barn. And that's when Michael shows up and kills Spitz with a pitchfork and Sam with a scythe.
I'm sorry, but hooking up in a barn, the hay, the dirt, it's you're asking for a UTI at this point, right?
And it's also her first time, so like her
Yeah.
first time, and she catches a UTI. Not it.
It's not worth it.
But here's the thing about Tower
Abstinence,
Barn.
kids, abstinence.
Here's the thing about Tower Barn. No, I'm just kidding. So Michael wastes no time and kills the cops too, but we don't see it. Like, they just look back and they think it's a prank, and it cuts away.
Yeah.
Because
He was actually gonna not kill them walking by them, but he heard clown music coming from the car, so he was like, "These fuckers gotta die."
he's like triggered.
Yeah.
He's like, "I was a clown once for Halloween." Ooh.
They wouldn't let him in the club.
Yeah. So the
You
party.
guys need a third member? Like, nah, Michael,
No.
we're good. It's really like a 2-man operation.
So the party ends, and we see Tina goes to the barn. She finds her friends dead, and the cops, who are very dead as well. And then Tina
So dead.
runs as Michael chases her with a car, and Jamie arrives, and then Michael tries to run her down with the car. And this scene goes on for a
Too
bit.
long. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe a little too long.
You think so?
Do you think so?
No, I think it's like a.
Or do you think it's the right amount?
I think it's a high point.
Well, yeah, I felt like Leslie Nielsen was driving the car. This was like the opening of The Naked Gun, and it's just like,
that Austin Powers scene.
And he runs over Billy, correct?
Yes.
yeah, he hits Billy with the car. He gets 1 out of 3, basically.
Well, he would have stopped if Billy had said stop, but it just took too long for him to get it out.
Studio.
Stop.
Studio.
Oh, we're
I
not
think-
making fun of people with stutters. We're just fucked up. What?
I think he was still
No, we're
trying
doing
to get
both.
out Cookie Woman.
Yeah,
He's still trying to get all that out.
he's still on that.
Hey, on a slightly different note, in my notes it says, at this point in the film, I had finished my Blueberry cereal. And now I'm drinking the blue delicious milk.
That's the best part.
I wanted to put that in my notes.
So I
did.
One time, years ago, I pitched, like, how cool would it be if they sold cereal milk? Like the milk that is like
Cinnamon
flavored.
Toast Crunch. Hey, I'm
Right.
with no, bro. I'm with you on this.
Yeah,
That's
man.
sometimes
Let's
like the
start
best part.
Here's a
Chocula.
here's a question I've had for years, and you guys you come with me on this ride. When you eat cereal,
Yes.
and then there's the milk left over, is that soup? Is that stew? Is it a broth? What? How do you classify the milk that is left over after a cereal?
I classify it as delicious.
Well, no, I understand that.
Flavored
But
milk.
is that essentially like a stock? Or no, a stock has to have bones. But is it a broth? Like what do we?
It's like a broth.
Is it? Yeah, I know.
would say
That's
it's
what
like
I'm
a
talking
broth,
about.
yeah.
It's not milk anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still milk, but it has other ingredients.
Yeah.
I also had in
I
there
like
that
flavored milk though.
I also have in here a fun fact from the movie.
Yes.
I guess some of those cats.
Dave, I'm dying off camera, just so you know. I can't believe we got to this milk conversation. But yeah, keep going.
I just want to say I read a fun fact about this movie. Apparently, some of the cats in this movie were arrested because they were taking photos of the couple having sex.
Oh.
So they were
Yeah.
actually locked up in a little kennel for a little while.
Because they didn't ask permission. You have to ask permission first.
Yeah, they were just being
Yeah,
gross.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's
I like
move
it a lot.
on.
No. Let's
They're
keep talking
disgusting.
about this, please.
Yeah. Let's keep going. This is my time.
Dave, your thoughts on this?
I do not like Blueberry. I just did not want to insult Rory.
Okay.
I
didn't make it.
3, I am a Frankenberry guy.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a Frankenberry.
Real quick, and then we'll get right back to this. Favorite cereal. All right. I'll go first. Cocoa Pebbles.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Overall.
Overall, Cocoa
Okay.
Pebbles, 100%.
Yeah, this is hard.
You're a
'cause
Captain Crunch guy.
I am. I
don't
would say
hurt the-
peanut butter crunch is my favorite.
It doesn't hurt the roof of your mouth.
No,
You
I
just get past it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think because I ate so much as a kid.
You've developed a callus on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, Rory.
I liked a good old fashioned bowl of cornflakes.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna say like grape nuts or some shit. All right, Dave, real quick.
So when I didn't care about diabetes, Fruit Loops, but now
Oh.
that I'm an old man, I'm cornflakes guy as well.
Dave, were
Yeah,
you
man.
upset the day that you learned that all of the different colors of Fruit Loops were just the same flavor?
Yes.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now
So-
back to our.
So drifting back into the movie, I do have one little comment I have to say
Yeah.
about all this shit before like Tina goes back in to get Sammy and Spitz.
Yeah.
They say that they're going skinny dipping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, skinny dipping in October. Tomorrow's November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
These kids deserve to die.
Yeah.
Hypothermia.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, if Michael
you
doesn't
haven't-
get them, the hypothermia will.
You haven't said this, Rory, or any of the guys, but I think this is the worst batch of teens, quote, teens, in any horror movie I think I've ever seen. Like, you don't give a fuck about any of these fuckers. Not one.
Well, what about... Never mind.
I was gonna
And
say.
Spitz looks like he doesn't know how to please a woman. So
No.
that's everything about these teens are just terrible.
Spitz couldn't find the G spot if you gave him directions and a GPS.
Damn. So eventually Michael crashes his car, and as he's about to kill Jamie, Tina steps in and saves her, but at the cost of her life. She gets stabbed instead. She's like, get out of the way, and she just gets stabbed.
Which should have been Rachel.
It should have been Rachel. It should have been Rachel the whole time, but...
I mean, you could have taken the characters of Rachel and Tina and put them together and made one character called Rachel.
Right. Yeah. Fuck. That's some good stuff, man. That's the best. That's why you're a writer, man. Yeah.
Wait, but I also wanted at that point after she died, for a hard cut to the people waiting at the lake for them to come and join them for skinny dipping, and they're all just like waiting around, but frozen. They all kind of look like the people at the end of Titanic.
Yeah,
just frozen,
they're all just like floating.
Mm-hmm. You think they're coming? Anyway.
So luckily, Loomis arrives to save the kids in time, and then we see where Dr. Loomis starts to talk to Michael. Like, Michael's in the woods somewhere, and he begs Michael to go home. He's like, go home, go where it started, and
where the evil is strongest.
And he's like, Michael,
on your way there, will you pick me up some gin
and some blueberries?
Doctor's coming cookies down. A cookie woman. I do like the fact that there is a scene in this movie. It's actually one of the high points of it, where Dr. Loomis is trying to reach Michael as his doctor, because you don't get to see a lot of that. But that's it.
But he tells Michael basically that he'll find Jamie and Dr. Loomis out back at the Myers home, back there waiting for him, like Richard Marx.
And Michael the whole time is just like, all right, cool, I'll meet you back at the house.
Yeah.
We're cool? Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, I'm going to hit you up.
Slim Jims. You want me to pick up some Slim Jims too?
No, just gin.
Just gin. Slim gin.
So at the Myers home, the police have set a
terrible.
trap.
So bad.
Slim gin's not terrible. Anyway.
Dave, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, this is like, you have like a nice, organized, thoughtful podcast, and you come and you slum with us jokers.
Yeah. And we're just the worst.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
We're working on bits.
We were eating out of the trash before this started.
We do respect you, but we are trash.
Yeah, we are what we are.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So at the Myers home, the police have set a trap for Michael, but Meeker sends all the units to the children's clinic after Jamie shouts that her friend, she's like shouting, Billy, Billy, and they're like, let's get everyone to the clinic right now. But Dr. Loomis decides not to take Jamie to the station, and they're going to stay there. And outside, there's one person who stayed behind. And over the radio, they literally hear Eddie, the officer outside, getting murdered, and Charlie inside the officer. I was like, come in, Eddie, you there? He's like, it would have been great if you just like quoted Friday 4, when it's like, he's killing me! Come in, Eddie, you there?
Right before the cops all take off,
yeah,
when they leave the one cop, which is just an excellent decision, there's one cop that they do like ADR for. Did you catch it?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we just got a distress call from the clinic. It just does not fit with his mouth. It's like a real weird reading.
It's like the G.I. Joe. It's like,
Duke's gonna be okay.
So, as soon as Charlie...
I also like that the cops don't understand the theory of, hey, let's split up.
Right. They're
no.
Since
just
everything we got.
Yes, everything to all. Yeah.
They got like a SWAT van there.
Yeah. No, just leave one cop behind.
Nope.
Actually, he's not even going to have bullets. Let's just leave him with a fake gun, one cop, everything will be cool. It's all good, guys. Let's go.
They haven't checked in a while.
So, as soon as Charlie goes to call in, Loomis breaks the walkie. He's like, no! And he grabs the walkie out of his hand and he smashes it against the wall. And then we see where Loomis, he's like, I'll go talk to him. So Loomis...
Relax, I'll go talk to Michael. I'll calm him down.
So Loomis goes...
Mikey, we cool?
Yeah.
Because he's shown that he's been able to do that over the last 4 movies. Yeah.
Would you like some of my Slim Gin? Might cool you down a little bit.
I know you had a rough day. All right?
Hear me out.
Hear me out. We had a rough day, okay? But Loomis confronts Michael, who so Michael's like, you know, like listening to him for a hot second, and then he just grabs Loomis. He like slashes open his chest, and then he puts his head through a window. And it's just like a quick like smashes his head through the window, and he's like,
You know, it's funny because he's like talking to Michael. Michael sort of turns his head.
Yeah.
And inside the mask, I imagine she's like, "Oh man, what's this guy fucking talking about?
what the fuck is
Why doesn't
this?
he just leave me alone?
Problem.
God.
I don't want the rage to stop. What the fuck is he talking about?
Is he talking about a rager?
This is my thing.
So upstairs, Charlie tries to shoot Michael and get Jamie to safety, but Michael no-sells the gunshots and bursts through the door and murders Charlie. Jamie runs and jumps down the laundry chute, and this sequence is actually awesome.
It's awesome.
I feel like this is like the best suspenseful scene in the movie.
Yeah, the shots down the what is essentially like a laundry chute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look awesome because it's so tight and confined. This is one of
Yeah.
those ones that like gave me anxiety just by watching it.
And when she's like hanging, she's
Yes,
like, God,
it's awesome.
please. And she's like, you know, like literally begging for
Yeah.
her life.
Danielle
And,
Harris is so good in that scene, and it's
Yeah.
funny because she was so good in 4. So the natural direction that you'd want to take her character is to have her be mute for most of the movie.
right.
Let's take this
Interesting.
character that was great and not let her talk.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Anyone agree with this?
Yeah.
So she ends up falling into the basement, but when Michael makes his way down to get her, she actually climbs back up into the chute, and eventually Jamie finds Michael's room.
Wait, one last thing about the shoot.
Yeah.
I like at one point Michael like reaches into it and he's like stabbing up.
Yeah, he's like,
Stabbing upward.
Did I
Yeah.
get her? Nah,
Yeah.
shit.
it's like he's,
Can't
it's
catch
like
a break with this kid.
literally like trying to like put a knife in a drain. He's like, so anyways, we see where she runs up. She finds Michael's room, or maybe it's like the attic, right? And that's where she sees Rachel dead, and some guy. I think it's Michael, right? The other Mike.
Yeah, it's Mike.
Yeah.
I was funny if she like saw like everyone starts screaming. She's like, ah, and then she sees Mike. She's like, who's that?
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Is, not to derail, is it Michael or Jason that likes to set the bodies up after he kills them?
Yes.
Michael. Both.
Okay, both?
Yeah,
Michael
Okay.
got there
Both.
first though.
Michael
Yeah.
got there first? Okay.
Michael was, yeah.
Almost like a display of like kind of look what I've done.
I think
Yeah.
I'm proud
Michael's
of myself.
sort of like an artist in a sense.
No, I get it.
He's an art curator.
Jason Voorhees is like, that looks cool. I'll do it too.
Let's
I'll
do
do
that.
that shit. Yeah. Well, that seems pretty neat. So Jamie tries to talk.
It's a bummer though because you see that Max died. So
Yeah.
I took some of that blueberry milk and I poured a little shot on the floor for
man.
him.
Pour out some
Another
for a homie.
fallen wolf.
Fallen homie.
But it is sad. Like, she kind of reacts to the death of Tina more than her own kind of stepsister.
Her foster stepsister.
Yeah, her foster stepsister, which she should have been like, oh my God, we went through so much together. But she's like, oh no, Rachel.
I feel as detached from your character right now as the whole audience
Yeah.
because
it
they
was
took
like,
you out of the movie for no good reason.
It's so
Because Dominique, Arthur, and Gerard wanted a girl with dark hair.
yeah, it makes sense, man.
What a choice.
What a choice. So Jamie tries to talk Michael down, and if she can see his face, like, and she's kind of like motioning, like, can I see your face? And so Michael takes off the mask, and we see like he has like a little bit of he's like crying, like he has a little tear.
Yeah.
He's not like sobbing. He's not like
Well, why he's crying is because that's called character assassination.
yeah. I don't know.
It's like, why is Michael Myers crying?
He's a sensitive guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Instill a little humanity into him. I don't know. I'm trying.
it's
I'm
a-
grasping at straws here for you guys.
Again, a weird choice.
Just a weird choice.
Dave, stupid choice. Am I correct?
Did
Yeah.
you ever hear Don Shanks' interview about what he thought about that scene?
No.
I didn't imagine that any thought went into that scene.
what
But
did,
was
what
his
did he
thoughts?
say?
He actually mentioned like why would like he was against taking his mask off because he's Native American, and Michael Myers is not Native American, so he didn't want to take off his mask to begin with. But Dominique said, I need you to shed one shed of tear. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find the quote because I wrote it down somewhere. Where are you, Mr. Dominique?
He got that tear because he just didn't want to do the scene. It's like, please don't make me do this. Jesus Christ.
I don't want to take my mask off so people know I'm in this.
He said he illustrated these feelings with the scene where he removes his mask and sheds a tear, and he explains, again, to humanize him, to give him a tear. If evil, or in this case, our boogeyman, knows pain or love or demonstrate a feeling of regrets, he becomes even more scary to me if he pursues a malefic action. He shows evil determination beyond his feelings. Dr. Loomis tries to reach his emotional side several times in Halloween 5. He thinks he could cure Michael through his feelings. Fuck off, man.
Well said.
That's what Vince said. He was like, I think it's to touch his human side.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're
A little bit of humanity.
Yeah.
And it makes it less scary, though.
It
I would
does.
say. Yeah.
It demystifies the boogeyman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's just like a wimpy whiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop crying.
How often do you think he's crying under that mask?
He's like, have you seen The Notebook?
I'm really stressed out.
There's no crying in murder. There's no crying in murder.
There's no crying in murder. So at one point we see where Jamie is like, she reaches out to touch his face, and then Michael freaks out. I always did like that part where he like freaks out, and then he
cool.
like is like struggling to put the mask back on. That's
It shouldn't be much of a struggle. She should be able to just drop it on his head.
Yeah,
It's so big.
Fumbling like a virgin trying to put a condom on. Go ahead.
he's like,
Like spits.
yep. So Loomis tries to bait Michael again with Jamie, and Michael walks into a trap set by Loomis via Acme products. But unlike Wile E. Coyote, the trap actually works, and he subdues Michael Myers. And we see that Michael is arrested and put in jail. And it's such a weird visual to see Michael just like on his knees with his like hands behind his back in handcuffs. It's just such a weird thing.
And him just like playing with the chains,
Yeah, he's just like
fiddling with them. It's nice too. They put him in a jail cell with his mask on.
yeah. They didn't like. I
Usually
just,
they take all your like effects and whatnot.
they just do the due process of like taking his fingerprints.
Yeah.
But anyways, then we see in his mugshot, they're like, no, leave the mask on.
yeah. No one's gonna know who he is.
Yeah, we gotta keep that on.
All those people in Halloween Kills couldn't figure it out.
No, they
Take the
couldn't tell
mask
by
off, they don't know what's
body
going on.
size. Yeah. So then we see the bus man return, and I recognize him because of his spurs. He shows up to the station, and as Meeker takes Jamie to the car, then we hear a bunch of gunshots and grown men just screaming, and Meeker's like, I better rush it back in and see what that's about. And you just hear like literally like a massacre. It's like the opening of Dick Tracy, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like just gunshots.
They got the silhouette of him too.
Yeah,
that
and they're
switch.
like, ah! And then Jamie goes in.
You know, I was kind of hoping that while she was walking into the police station, somebody was putting up a help wanted sign.
Or Michael has like a little sign. So Jamie goes in, and she sees like the cell where Michael was is now open, and he's gone, and all the cops inside are pretty much dead. And then the movie ends, and that's where it goes.
No. Because at that time, Danielle
Yeah.
Harris thought that she had to make another one. That's why she was like,
No, not after this. No. Because they probably would have made her do something even dumber, right? I don't know.
Hey, at least she got to grow up to be T.K. Kiner on Boy Meets World, and she got to.
That's true.
She got to go on a date with Corey Matthews for one episode.
Which is
Wow, that's a deep cut.
no,
What's
Yeah.
that?
which is now a horror story in itself.
Oh my God, yes.
What do you mean?
Oh, look up Ben Savage. That's
Yes.
all I need to say.
Really?
Not me, not
Wait,
me
what?
too, but yeah, he was definitely doing things that he shouldn't have been. Yeah.
Ben
Really?
Savage?
Ben Savage?
But no, that was his brother Fred. But Ben has
Oh.
lately not. Basically, if you listen to the Boy Meets World podcast, they talk about expressing desire to do the podcast with all four of them, and he kind of wants to disassociate with everything regarding Boy Meets World and never wants to talk about it again and stuff like that, even though that's the only thing of noteworthy he's ever done in his career. And I met Ben Savage a couple of years ago at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Even then, he seemed very, like,
weird.
I'm here for money. I don't really give a shit. And I'm like, all right, dude, fuck off, man.
Yeah, that sucks. I love Boy Meets World.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shows.
To be honest, though, Eric was always my favorite.
Yeah.
So
I was a Mr. Feeney guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney's my favorite character.
Feeney.
Damn my heart of gold. Go ahead.
I love Boy Meets World, and that sucks to hear that Ben Savage. I mean, it makes sense because I do follow that podcast on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm really surprised they didn't get Ben Savage yet. They got like pretty much everyone from the cast except Ben Savage, to be honest.
It's a very good podcast. I like it a lot. I like how they break down the episodes, but like you said, like everyone's been on it except him.
Yeah, even Mr. Turner was on, like,
really?
on Mr. Feeney, the parents. Topanga is like one of the hosts. It's her, Sean, and Eric.
Topanga?
Love me some Topanga.
I know, but this movie ends, and that's the end of Halloween 5. So all right, we'll go to Dave first. What did you think of Halloween 5?
This movie is a travesty.
the life of your face just like left. You're like, oh man.
All that joy he had talking about the Brutalists earlier, just gone.
It's not the worst movie, and this says a lot about this franchise. That this is not even close to the worst movie in the franchise.
No, it's not.
Like, not even close.
It's a long way down.
I mean, the worst movie of the franchise to me is actually my most disliked movie of all time. So.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, it's Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you're in the company of one of the only fans of that movie, Mr. EJ.
Yeah,
Leeson.
I actually like it more than like the Rob Zombie's Halloweens.
I loathe that
movie. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Everything it's like, listen, we talk about undermining endings, and I know it's a completely different movie, but like that did Halloween 5 and just said, hold my fucking beer of undermining endings.
It really does.
But yeah, in terms of this, like, there is some like interesting directions outside of the mute stuff. Like, if Tina was Rachel and the sacrifice at the end would have really meant something, that would have been cool. Loomis was just
so your positive is a what if?
Yeah. And I'd like to know how much cocaine Dr. Loomis was doing in 1989 because he was definitely on heavy cocaine.
Gin.
Yeah,
I heard it was. I heard it was alcohol. Yeah. That scene where he's like grabbing Jamie and he's like screaming at her one of the 40 times. She said that she was
3 inches from her face.
Yeah. Number one, she said she was very afraid, and number two, she said that she could smell booze.
I heard he was drinking, like he was doing a lot of rum and coke. He would be like, "Get me a rum and coke, but put the coke on a mirror."
And I think the biggest sin in this movie is that Alan Howard thought this score was so bad that he's like, you know what I'm going to fucking do in Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers? I'm going to make a fucking kick-ass rock score.
And he did. It's so good. So good.
Stop, Rory.
So awesome.
I love when in Halloween 6 when they go across the street to Paul Rudd's and he's like kind of chasing after them and then yeah,
so awesome,
so good. All right, Vince, what did you think about this movie?
I really liked Halloween 4.
All right.
Oh, don't even add anything.
Nothing.
That was perfect.
All right.
As I said before, I look back on it from when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. And I don't hate the movie, and it's not even by far my least favorite in the franchise, because as Dave said, it's a long way down. But seeing it now with more of an understanding of like storytelling and filmmaking, it is definitely a problematic movie, and certainly set the franchise into a direction that I don't think it fully ever really recovered from.
Yeah.
But it's if you're a Halloween fan, it's worth a watch.
It's definitely a movie.
It's got shots.
It's definitely a movie.
It has dialogue.
I think
it has
there was
moving pictures.
Everything was in focus.
Yeah, barely.
Interesting. No, I don't know if you guys are ever going to do H2O because it's actually a good movie.
100%.
God, I hope we don't.
I know everything about that movie, sir.
Also, you know what I'm going to say about the connection to 4, 5, and 6?
Oh, like how it was supposed to be a part of it, but then like
how they were gonna connect it.
Yeah. I think they maybe should have done that, but I also understand why they didn't.
Yeah. So to not hold the folks that don't know what it is, so basically they were gonna have a scene in H2O where Michelle Williams' character was gonna read or talk about the Haddonfield murders of 1988 and 89, and that's how she Laurie finds out her daughter died.
And then she goes and throws up or something.
And she goes into a closet and starts crying.
Man, I was really hoping you wouldn't explain that to us, but okay.
No, dude, I get it. It's like, the timeline of 4, 5, and 6 asks a lot of things of Laurie's character because it kind of comes off like she just abandoned her. Which makes her a little less likable and harder to root for. So I get why they just made it a direct sequel to the first two. But whatever. How about you? What'd you think?
I mean, I liked it, but it's definitely not as good as 4.
No.
Not as good as 6.
No.
Not as good as H2O.
No.
You know what I mean? But I do like it more than some other ones.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a big Halloween 2018 fan.
Nope.
But I did
neither.
like, Ends a lot. So Ends is like higher on my
Dave's
list.
another one that likes Ends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dave's another one in the club.
So, I'll quick 30-second story. When I saw Halloween Ends and I was with my wife and title credits rolled up and it was the same font and font and color as Halloween 3, I looked at my wife and I'm like, they're going to fucking cook here.
Yeah. It looked. I loved Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
and
man.
I feel like that's a small boat not a lot of people are on.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Welcome
aboard our sinking ship.
I loved it at the beginning because I thought it would end, but apparently it didn't.
It's gonna keep going forever. No, but I do love this movie. I think it's awesome, and it's definitely better than others. But as far as like the Jamie Lloyd trilogy, this is definitely the weakest one. I would say that. Yeah. All right. With that being said, let's move on to plugs. Dave, do you have anything you would like to plug, sir?
You can just nothing coming up. You can just check out my my reviews at thecinematicreel.com, and you can check out Rory in the last episode of the month coming up. Where we're actually, ironically, we're going to do a tier episode where we're going to put the Friday the 13th franchise, the Halloween franchise, and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise into tiers from S to F.
Ooh, all right. I love it.
I will not listen to that.
I'm loving that. Vince is not into that.
Not having it.
And Vince, how about you? Anything you would like to plug?
I'll plug Three Jacks Burger Bar. I heard you guys talking about it in the last episode with Chris the comedian.
Yes.
I'm just going to call him CC from now on, Chris the comedian.
Love it.
CTC. The burger of the month next month, which I thought you guys were talking about, is going to be called the Gobbledygooker. It is a 6-ounce beef patty with deep fried tempura stuffing, turkey, and a cranberry Dijon mayo. And next month we're going to feature a drink. It's called the Slim Gin and Tonic. It's going to be $5.
No, that's crazy.
Can we call that the Loomis?
Yeah, we're going to call it the
Loomis.
Go ahead.
Rory, go ahead.
I would just like to plug Raven View Productions. You can find it on Facebook and YouTube, and it's going to be expanding ever so soon. Fourth Cut Reviews, our buddy Chris Conforti, keyboard warrior extraordinaire. You can check out his reviews.
Nickname.
It's what it is.
Oh my god.
Reviews, and you can check
So
out some
lame.
of his video projects. Variant Season, our buddy Will Perna's band, rock music to the best you can hope for, and it probably sounds better than the shit that you're listening to currently. Gravy Diggers, the pot pie that you're lucky enough to survive.
Love that.
The pot pie you're looking at.
And then really what I just want to talk about...
Metal Messiah? Oh, no,
we're
okay,
gonna get to him.
That's fine.
NEPA... I'm sorry, Kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. That's where, like kittens, like in this Halloween 5 movie, the real breakout stars of the film, if you ask me. You can look up Kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. You can actually go on our website, and you can actually get a link directly to them. If you'd like to adopt a cat, if you'd like to, give them some food, donate something, keep these cats off the streets,
Blankets,
get them
towels,
into college,
your time.
yeah,
all of it,
just all that stuff. It's better than helping human beings because human beings grow up to be serial killers, but cats,
And they vote too.
they
That's
do, and they
scary also.
vote, and sometimes what they vote for is frightening.
Yes.
But they are very soft and they're really fun. But
They're very soft and really fun.
but that's it.
All right, I love it. I'm just gonna plug really fast. I'm gonna plug Adam Farley's music, Chris Alou's music, my brother's band Kids on Bikes, their music. You could check them all out on Spotify and
I
iTunes.
checked them out on the Apple Music, I think. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, and make sure to check out ETC, the Eastern Tribute Collective, headed by the new Metal Messiah.
Metal Messiah, Jon Snow.
John motherfucking Snow. And so check
This
that out.
winter, it's gonna snow.
Yeah.
ECT project.
But dude, he is the lead singer of like 15 different bands. It's awesome. He's incredible. If you get to see him live, he's like
Iconic.
He's just the best.
He was born to be on stage, yes.
Absolutely. Shinty Hill Design, who actually designed our website for us, and that's run by the Vinch, Mike Vinci.
Mr. Vinch.
Yeah, one of the nicest
Da
guys in the
Vinci.
world. Our Da Vinci. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a great dude. And so check that out. Also check out whatever you want. I think like Schwartz Dreamboat.
Check out whatever you want.
Just don't even listen to us. No, but
No.
worst podcast.
Listen to us.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Okay. But last but not least, make sure to check out our website where you can buy T-shirts and mugs and all that kind of stuff. You could listen to our episodes, and you could find like pictures there and all of that.
We
kind
got
of
some
stuff.
TikTok stuff and other things like that you could be interested, maybe, possibly, and then
Yeah, and then also one thing we like to do before we wrap up and everything, we like to rate movies with emojis. And so let's go to our guest first. Dave, what emojis would you give this movie?
he's going to give a clock because he's not prepared.
Yeah.
I saw the look in his eye. Oh, shit, he's got it ready. Go ahead.
I got one. What? Who am I just sending this to you guys or
No,
not?
no,
Oh, no, you
just
can
say
say
it.
what it is.
Say what your emojis are.
Use your words.
Oh, it's a throw up emoji.
So good.
All right, mine is just the number 4 because don't watch number 5, watch number 4.
That's great.
It's good advice, right?
Yeah.
I got a pumpkin and two dogs. I got a parrot and a bunch of kitten emojis, and I will also add a puking face.
And you've now added that? I'm going to add that to mine, too.
Yeah, why
okay,
not?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't. Mine's less. Mine's not so much puking. Mine's more like that feeling you get before you throw up.
What, you throw up in your mouth just
You're
a
like,
little
"Oh,"
bit.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't all come out.
Yeah.
That sums up Halloween
Quick,
5.
quick side note: can you imagine like skipping 5 and going 4 to 6 and finding out Jamie Lloyd gave birth to Michael Myers' baby?
Yeah. Right? Like,
Another weird choice.
another weird choice. I would say my emojis, it's just some water, like a stream,
Okay.
because that's my
I
favorite
love that.
scene. Yeah. And a canoe boat, because that would have been cool if
Do
he
you
just
think-
like came across one. He's like, nah.
Do you think-
And he just kept going down the river by himself.
Do you think Peter Jackson saw this and was like, hey, we're going to have Aragon float down the river exactly like Michael
Yeah.
Myers? Yeah.
I know
He
Peter
saw it.
Absolutely.
Jackson reference. I think he actually borrowed a lot from
He
Halloween
said,
5.
he said that?
Yeah, it was in an interview. He said my biggest influence for the Lord of the Rings trilogy was Halloween 5.
Halloween 5.
Yeah, don't look that up though. It's
Yeah. It's a rare quote. Yeah.
it's hard to find. But go ahead.
But yeah, no, that would be my emojis. But before we go, thank you to our guest, Mr. David Gonzalez. Thank
Dave,
you
thank
so
you, buddy.
much for coming
you
on
again.
again.
Appreciate you sticking through all the technical difficulties. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm happy to come on anytime you'd have me. This is always a good time.
Yeah, you are hilarious and awesome. So I love having you on and talking movies. I love Substance, by the way. You recommended it the last time you were on. Got to see
Yes.
it, and it was like one of my favorite movies of the year, especially the ending when it's just chaotic. I don't want to like spoil it, but it's just the staple thing.
Yeah, it's the
just
shit.
incredible.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. And so thank you again for coming on and doing the show. Thanks to Vince and Rory for always being awesome and amazing. And thank you to the listeners at home. Thank you guys so much for tuning in every week and just being so supportive and awesome, sharing our stuff and hitting us up and giving us compliments. We love it.
you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
I wish you were better fans.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we do. No, but guys, thank you so much. And finally, thank you for listening to Freakquels.
Oh my god, that was great. No, leave that in. You got to it, and then you forgot that you got to it.
I got to it. That's so
That was
like,
fucking perfect.
thank you for listening to Freakquels. And I looked at you guys like,
We both looked at you
Freakquels.
with shock, like he just did it. He did the thing.
Yeah.
I know, like, do I need to say anything?
No, don't. You're good. It's perfect.
I guess I'll just end this by saying Cookie Woman.
Cookie woman.
Cookie woman.